Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Eden Amadora. Welcome back. And for those who are new, this is a place where I talk about walking a path of heart, awakening the divine feminine, sacred masculine, what it is to be fully embodied and honoring our multidimensional divine nature. So today I'm going to talk about archetypes. What are they and why do they benefit us working with them on a path of transformation? For many years, I've been working with the archetypes of the divine feminine. And years ago, I heard this wonderful quote by a Jungian analyst, and she said, the difference between working with archetypes as compared to simply working therapeutically with the psychology, with the mental body and stories, is comparing the energy of our psyche and the psychological way to the quack of a duck, and an archetype to a thunderclap of frequency and vibration. So what I have discovered is that we can sit for years and talk about our stories with a therapist and not really get into the deeper vibrational changes that are required to completely shift our outlook, mind, body, spirit, on all dimensions. When we work with archetypal energy, we are embodying these greater magnetic forces. And this is a little esoteric, a little metaphysical, so bear with me. Imagine that archetypes are even vaster and more powerful than particular gods or goddesses. They are collective consciousness, magnetic fields of energy that then come into specific lineages of goddesses or gods or beings that we know historically that we refer to. So a vast archetype outside of the divine feminine archetypes I work with would be like the archetype of the mother, the archetype of the teacher, the archetype of the hero. These are, I think there's around 20 to 25 different primary archetypes that we are dealing with in our collective consciousness. And then when we go into the archetype of the divine feminine, this one then fractalizes into many different archetypes. And as I've been working with them, what I'm aware of is that it's not a concept. It's not just talking about and studying about the archetypal energy. It is actually allowing it to inform your embodied experience. So when we work with a specific archetype, we're opening our being to experience the frequency of it. And in the work I do, we work with 13 particular goddess archetypes. And for instance, the goddess of love, we have many, many different faces of her throughout time, culturally, in different parts of the world. So we have Venus from ancient Rome, Aphrodite from Greece, Lakshmi from India, Inanna from ancient Sumeria. There's so many different faces and names for that one fractal of the divine feminine archetype, the goddess of love. And as we work with her, we're not just writing notes and learning about her intellectually. It's not a linear, rational process. We are in ritual and embodying her, being her in our lives. How do we feel her come alive through us? She's asking us to feel, to respond, to beautify our world. She's coming through our eyes, our hands, our heart, our voices. So working with that archetype is to allow her in and to unshield the heart, to open to intimacy, to more softness. And there's many ways that the archetypal energy comes with tools for us, looking at it both in the light side of the archetype and the shadow side. And each of these archetypes will invite us to look at where we're already unconsciously playing out the shadows of that archetypal energy. For instance, shadows of the goddess of love, seduction, manipulation, competition, comparison. It's like all these old Greek myths of Aphrodite creating chaos and war and strife because of her immense beauty. In our collective consciousness, we have struggled with this in this particular archetype. And in the light side of this archetype, we're talking about unconditional love, abundance, plenty, the embrace, the softness of our hearts, and intimacy, vulnerability. There's many, many benefits to working with these archetypes when we start to recognize, lo and behold, they are alive and well in our life, whether we're conscious of them or not. So to bring them more into consciousness, as Jung says, as we bring the shadow into the light, it no longer controls us. It no longer seems to sabotage our lives unconsciously. We become more whole and integrated and embodied. So this is why working with archetypal energy, especially the archetypes of the divine feminine, for us as women is extremely powerful. I hope you've enjoyed this talk about archetypes and why they are so powerful on a path of transformation. If you'd like to find out more, you can visit EdenAmadora.com. And if you've liked this, give it a like and subscribe. Share it with a friend who you believe would benefit from finding out about the archetypes of the divine feminine. Many blessings and only love.